force it to come out.
What do you... You're a genius.
Well, I know. Like what I say.
No, wait.
Did you know what was going to happen to my brother when you stuck him with this world-destroying thing?
It's called the Scarab. I had no idea it would activate. It has to choose you.
So how do we get it to unchoose me?
Host acquired.
Who said that?
Systems tracking 3,
Okay,
2.
it's gonna be okay.
Uptown, baby. I was down, but they see I'm up down, baby.
Stop!
Host overreacting.
Overreacting? Oh, you kidnapped me!
When I hit you with that, you know.
Threat approaching. Engaging host protection.
Kick it like a judo. And when we get in mode, I'ma dog it like I'm Cujo.
Threat eliminated.
Sorry about that!
Running, trying to steal away, cut it out.
What do you think the government is gonna do when they figure out that some kid has this military tech?
Bust it down.
We are going to change the world with the power of the Scarab. It belongs to me.
Watch out!
Stop the way, but the way don't stop.
Oh, he's pissed. Listen to me!
Uptown, baby.
You got the wrong guy! I'm a nobody! But I swear!
I was down, but they see I'm up now, baby.
The world is a place to protect.
I have an arsenal at my disposal.
Anything, please!
Watch and learn, Jaime.
Whoa.
Whatever you can imagine, I can create.
Yeah, that's more like it.
That love you feel for your family makes you weak. You're wrong.
My family, that's what makes me strong.
Oh, I forgot how bad it looks.
Target the family.
Sorry, my mama.
Jaime?
You are a superhero, cabron.
Y'all take shots, y'all aim up. Whoa.
You're the Blue Beetle.
I could use that arsenal right about now.
Thought you'd never ask.
Hell yeah.
They been trying to stop the way, but the way don't stop. Bust it down, bust it down.
Nah.
I advise we back away.
Uptown, I was down, but they see I'm up now.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Blue Beetle in theaters now. It's your boy QEP, this Nerds Rule the World. And also, as you see, my man, Glenn Lawrence, the brother levels me up. Glenn, how are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. Come on, man. Are you going to say it?
Say what? What are you talking about? We're about to talk Blue Beetle. What are you talking about?
I told you so, bro. I
Okay,
told you so.
Let's get into it. We're talking. I knew he was going to try and start some shit off the top. I knew he was going to start some shit off the top, which is crazy. So, which is going to get into the whole review. But let's start it off the top. Initial impressions when it was first announced, before we saw the film. Let's not get into the review part of the film. What were your initial thoughts when it was announced we're getting a Blue Beetle film? You obviously know mine, but we're going to get into the mix because you're trying to say I told you so. But what were your thoughts?
Trying to
get a Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle movie. When you saw the trailer, what was your feelings? For those that may not watch the channel, that don't know about us already, please, sir.
Listen, from Jump Street, I was excited. I was hyped as soon as I saw the trailer. I was hyped. I had a little reservation because of DC, as always, or whatever. But when I first saw the trailer, and it started out, it was just the way that the music hit, and then they had my man George Lopez in it, and then we figured out who was the director. I mean, definitely from the director announcement, I was like, this is probably going to be fire. And then the trailer came out, and then it looked fire, and I was like, all right, this is going to be hype. So that was my initial reaction from seeing the trailer. I was like, okay, this is going to be good. It looks like they're taking care with this character. It looks like a great origin story. You know what I mean? And that's what I was hoping for. And that's 100% what I got. I think they did it a lot of justice. I came to Blue Beetle late. Like I learned about the character.
Bro, you're going right into the review. You ain't gonna let me say my piece about it.
I haven't gone into any review. I'm talking about how I knew about Blue Beetle. Like
well,
I knew about
going to the film now. I was like, okay,
no. I knew about I knew about the character from Teen Titans or whatever. So I came into Blue Beetle late. So from what I know about the character, I like fell in love with them from those initial viewings on Teen Titans. So when I saw the trailer, I was hyped because I'm like, oh, this is a character that I just fell in love with from watching Teen Titans and all that other type of stuff. So when they put the trailer, I was like, this is hype. Now I know you're getting defensive because we were on record, so I know you're getting defensive. So go ahead. What is your initial thoughts when you first saw the trailer?
It ain't about being defensive. First off, it ain't about being defensive because you coming off the gates already just trying to prove a brother, hey man, which is where
you're not going to say,
like, oh, look, I was right. We shouldn't play that game because as you just already said it through your own words, DC has had a history. So once you've been misled countless times,
that is true.
One is already going to feel a certain kind of way.
That is true.
Every single time we came to the gate, and if people watch the channel, like, I've always wanted to win. I'm a comics head. I wanted DC to win. They need a win. I love Marvel and DC. But they just have failed, and you know this as well. So
I do.
So that's why I'm like, come on, bro. Why do we have to bring that energy off the top? I'm ready to praise the film.
Wait, time out.
I'm ready to praise the film because they delivered.
Yeah, 100%.
We're not there yet.
100%.
So let's just keep it 100.
I'll answer your question. I'll answer your question.
Hold on, I'm not finished yet. Okay. So let's just keep it 100. My initial impressions. The trailer was announced. My man, Angel Manuel Soto, the director who you mentioned. Amazing brother, talented brother. I spoke with him on the channel for Charm City Kings. Good dude. We kept in touch on the interwebs. We've interfaced. We're on the Twitters, all of that. He just retweeted me today after I came out the joint. Good brother, man, and I'm happy for him. You know what I'm saying? Xolo, who we know from Cobra Kai, who plays our Jaime. I love him from Cobra Kai. You and I've talked about Cobra Kai. Great show. Sure. The casting was 100. The cat that plays the dad, who I'm forgetting. I want to say I've interviewed him already for the channel as well on another project. Amazing. Just hands down, casting was amazing. I thought they did a great job, even bringing Susan Sarandon in and all of that. But yeah, and I'm getting into the review, which I said I wouldn't do as well yet. But initial thoughts, man. While the casting and everything was good. And as I said before to you, man, I was apprehensive. And when they, as press, we cover stuff in advance. They gave us, you and I, an ability to see the Flash in advance. And I saw it two times, pre-cut and the finished cut. And it was garbage, man. And so when they didn't even give us the chance to check out the screening, you can't help but think it's going to be terrible. You know what I'm saying? Because in most cases, when that's been done with press, they know we're going to shit on it. And because I enjoyed it so much, that's why you and I are getting together to actually give it some love, because which we'll get into in a second. I'm seeing a lot of hate out there. And I have my suspicions about that hate. But at the same time, I want to be one of those voices along with you to give it some love. So with that being said, Glenn, I know you want the mic again. So let's get into the story. What did you think? And let's kind of keep it sequence story. We'll get into the characters and all that shit, and then our whole thoughts. But what did you think about the overall story that we got with Blue Beetle, John?
So this is definitely a great origin story. I mean, the film isn't without like cliches and everything, but I think that's why it works, because I think DC has had so much trouble with its movies. Like there are formulas that you can stick to make things great, and I think it was in the vein of those formulas for hero origin story. So it hit all those marks. I thought the story was great. I thought where we come from with Jaime Reyes being kind of like picked from obscurity almost, chosen by the Scarab. I thought it was dope, man. But I really liked this movie and its message about family and like family coming together, family protecting each other, and all those type of things. So that was really where I thought the story shined. That is 100% where I thought the story was was on point, and that was the thing that it did really well. It also did action really well. That was really awesome how it brought that together, the things that Blue Beetle could do, because if you know from watching the comics or whatever, or I'm sorry, watching like Teen Titan like I do, Blue Beetle rarely is like he doesn't really like lose, you know what I mean? Like the Scarab might power down, and that's how, but when the Beetle's on point, the Beetle like does it destroys stuff. It's a world destroyer. So one of the most powerful characters in the DC universe, and I thought it did a good job of like showcasing that, but then not making it seem like this character is so overpowered that it can't be harmed. So the stakes were still there, but then also like it didn't make it where the character was getting like beat up by things that like it shouldn't get beat up, which is sometimes what they have to do to make a character seem a little bit more lifelike. It's like that would never happen. So I thought they did a good job of like really focusing in on what the character, the Scarab, how powerful it is, but also the weaknesses shown. So I thought it was very, very solid. Of course, Susan Sarandon is in there as the big bad in this film, along with her lieutenant, which was I forget the guy's name. His General what is Modesto
Carapax. The character
Carapax. Yeah, sorry.
Played by Raoul Max Trujillo.
Yeah, so Carapax, it was a great foil. Had a great foil to Blue Beetle. Solid, man. I knew it was going to be solid from the jump. I was excited when I saw it. I did have reservations because it is DC, but there was just something about it. When I saw my man George Lopez in it, I was like, oh, this is going to be fire. This is going to be good. He's going to bring a level of like levity to it and realness to it that I think is going to push it over the top, regardless of what is happening in the film. And that's exactly what happened. I think it had a lot of the pieces and some of the points that were a little bit iffy. I think George Lopez was able to like tie it all together to make it like fun, believable, and like realistic, to push it over the top, to make it like one of the greatest DC films that they've made. So I'm happy with it, man. I knew that it was going to be dope. I said it, I claimed it, and it delivered on exactly what I thought was going to happen. Angel Manuel Soto came out, directed his butt off. Really hit heartstrings, bro. Had me tearing up and everything. So solid. I could go on and on, but because I really, really like this film, I really, really love what they did, and I think that's why you're seeing a lot of like love all over the internets for it. Like it was good. It was very solid.
I'm hoping it will, but I wouldn't say that exactly. I'm seeing the opposite of you on the internet, and that's why I kind of wanted to put it out there in regards to showing it love. I've been hearing a lot of in between and bad on the internet. Of the reviews that I'm seeing, man. So really? I don't know channels, but that's why we're showing it love. But again, I also think it's just a lot of also the DC apprehension. So you have people that are commenting that probably didn't even see it, but they just want to trash it. But there are people saying that it's kind of lukewarm, and in certain respects, I can see what they're saying in aspects. While this is a great superhero film, Jaime, for me, and what I think you and I feel about the film is, I think it's just a great introduction, but it's more so a family film. He's not truly a true hero. We didn't really see him fully an evolution of a hero in this film. It's more of an ensemble piece, and it's about a family coming here, which is I'm fine with, and I think you're fine with as well. It's just a different approach of like an introductory to people that may not be familiar with it to a hero, and just kind of give you certain things until they kind of work the kinks out. And that's what, to me, is the guy just got his powers. He's not going to be 100. So some of these other reviewers, because I started reading the reviews as well, and what some people are commenting, he's not going to be Iron Man out the gate or whatever. Even Iron Man was an Iron Man out the gate, but we didn't have those Iron Man moments. And their point is, it's you just watching Tony Stark become this journey. He doesn't have this whole ensemble family. It's just straight him, and you're watching a person become a hero. It was more so a family become a hero. So it's a different take, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And one I rather enjoyed, as you did as well. So I don't know what all these people are talking about, but just those things were some of the moments, and I want to get your moment in as well as some of favorite moments with this and what it made so great. So yeah, like you said, I enjoyed a lot of different parts of the story. My apprehensiveness about it got quelled with just how it flowed. I credit Angel, my man, the director, Angel Manuel Soto, for kind of being the gear and the engine that this was. Although I still see WB imprints along with it, but I think they kind of let the cast, like you said, George Lopez, I think having that strong ensemble really helps the story progress. But it is a different type of superhero film because it truly isn't just Jaime Reyes. It's a family story. And what made it, for me, beautiful as well is we got a lot of nuances about those surrounding members. Because even after, if I think, if I take my happiness off of watching it, and I sit back a little bit, like I still really didn't learn a lot about Jaime and really see him come fully because it was truly a ensemble type piece. And we got a lot of different sidebar characters and they gave us different elements of that, which was also amazing. Also with, you mentioned Susan Sarandon, but Carapax, who you also mentioned, his attendant, there's a twist without spoiling I'm not going to spoil, that we learn more about his character that I think is amazing that I never thought I'd see, especially in a WB movie talking about America, because it's based off of some realness that just really gave life to the quote unquote villain character in the film, or right-hand man to the major villain, that was very interesting, enlightening to see about the world, if you will. And I hope people learn about that kind of story that character is based on in a way, or the reality of the villainous thing that was happening there. But just overall in story, man, I'm impressed. It's different. I knew you were gonna say there are certain things. I'm like, man, Glenn's gonna be like, man, what, Patrick? I knew you were gonna come with that fire and that energy, but just as we both said, and you were saying this whole, as you were saying a second ago, you knew, but you felt that apprehension as well. When you led to the water so many times and it's been bad and it tasted bad, man. Like, I don't know if I want to taste it again, Glenn. Yeah. So with that being said, let's talk about some of the our favorite moments or least favorite moments, if you have any, real quick before we just talk about some of the overall characters.
Listen, I thought my favorite moment was going to be you saying, you were right, Glenn. You were right. You told me it was going to be fire. I should have listened and been like, you know what? I'm going to give it a chance. I thought that was going to be my favorite part, but I'm not going to get that. I can see that I'm not going to get that. But, I thought that was what I was gonna really, really enjoy. As I was watching it though, I was really like, yo, this is actually really good. Like I'm excited to hear what Kuya P thinks about it, because I think that this is pretty solid. I wouldn't go overboard and be like, oh, this is like, my favorite thing ever, but it's definitely one of my favorite DC films, right up there with Suicide Squad.
Definitely top, bro. I'll even say this, top 3 DC films.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a lie, because I'm not thinking about the past. And I'm talking, I just started thinking about the latest gen of it. I'll say it's in the top 5.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely think it deserves to be in there. And as I was watching, I thought it was really good. The fights with Carpax I thought were pretty cool, only because when they were fighting, there's sometimes this thing that happens that they're like, oh, you got to make the big bad badder than the good guy at first to make it be like, oh, that's where the friction is, or that's where the tension is. And they didn't do it. They're like, you know what I mean? You get a sense of how powerful the Scarab is and what it's doing, but you also don't get a sense that Carpax is like a slouch, you know what I mean? You get it all. So they do a really good job of rounding that. And I'll tell you, my favorite movie part of the movie was kind of just the familial elements or whatever, when they all come together, and then at the end the grandmother being like, you know what, okay, now we can have emotion. And that was really dope for me. I thought that was really cool.
Almost cried there too, sir.
Yeah,
seriously,
I had a little tear. I was like, you know what, that is touching. It's a superhero movie. They're dressed up in, costumes, everything. But that was really touching how they did that. Cause you get the parallels or whatever. So, the whole, the SWAT team barreling it down on the family or whatever. You could just imagine those scenes taking place all over the country or whatever, coming to grab somebody. And I really thought, it played well into that aspect of society or whatever. And of course, George Lopez, all his moments of levity were pretty dope. But that moment at the end was pretty tight with Grandma, man. She was pretty solid. And then to get a little bit of Grandma got a history we don't even know about. She's all nice drinking tea, sewing, but really she used to get down.
I want the grandma story, bro. As we said earlier, again, this is a great ensemble film, which to me is what makes it so fire. And it made you want to know all these characters. You know, like I said, we got the Carapax story a little bit as the villain. We got Jaime's story when he went off to college. You know, even Jessica, or I'm going to say Jenny Cord, the daughter of Ted Cord, you know, and how Susan Sarandon and all that mystery there and what happened to Ted. You know, just all of these characters have a life. Even the sister was unique and special in her own way, rebelling a little bit different from her brother. The parents and what happened, man, great. This is what makes great films. And but like going back to the grandma, yeah, just like there's a story there, like you want to know that. And
sure.
With that being said, going back to one of the other things to me that makes it in regards to moments that made it special, and I'll give you my moment, but I'm happy you pointed out, I almost forgot about that moment, but it's okay to cry. That one kind of piece towards the end, because we have a lot of things happening. And I don't know about you, but I think that's a cultural thing as well. As I'm speaking as a person of color, and as you as well, obviously, you know, but we go hard and just that's just in our energy because of just the way the world is. And I don't know if the masculinity thing, if you will, too, as men, you know, I don't know if you've ever felt that way as a masculine thing. Mm-hmm. Like you just gotta not let people see you feel weak in certain instances, and that just really touched and almost made me cry. And you said, you know, I think that was just such a beautiful moment. So I just want to again give you your kudos, because I almost forgot about the moment, because I thought I went on a more funny route. So one of my favorite moments was actually the first moment that came to my head was, we got to see Cord's hiding place, if you will. I don't want to spoil. You know, we get to see that sequence in the film.
Lair.
We got. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. We got to see the lair. I won't say anything more of that. But then also when the bonding of the Beetle, the Scarab, to Jaime, my man Lopez. You know, what was the point of entry? And it got referred to a couple times. That made me laugh out loud a couple times, and I'll leave it at that because I don't want to spoil. But that's the first. Maybe that's just a potty youngster in me that just made me laughing, and then the nerd in me with the lair. But definitely, I gotta say, the moment that almost brought me to my knees and tears was that scene that you mentioned with Lola.
Yeah, I gotta say, most superhero movies, like, here's the thing, people like the first iteration of the movie, and I've said this before when we're reviewing Marvel, everything, like usually the first iteration of a movie, the people who are playing those characters are figuring out how to play the character, and you're seeing it on screen. So then, like Marvel, like they've had time to build these characters, like personalities up through multiple films, and you see them get like stronger a little bit with how they play the character. Like it happened with Iron Man, happened with Captain America, Thor. Like you see them get to play up. Spider-Man with Tom Holland, you get to see them really fold into these characters and
evolve.
Play them up. So yeah, evolve basically. And I think you'll get to see that here, you know, provided that this gets to move on, which is why I was saying I'm glad that they were like, this is kind of the beginning of the DCEU, and like I think that this is a great starting point, like, because I thought it needed a reboot of a character like this, a character that's lesser known but has a good following, that has a strong, you know what I mean, like plot line beyond what we know about them, that they could really build and center things on, because now you enter all kinds of things into the cinematic universe. You know, you of course there's going to be the Teen Titans, like, oh, we're going to get a Titans thing. Is it going to play into the Titans series that we already have? You know what I mean? Like all those type of things are going to start coming in, because Titans is on Max, and then, you know, this was supposed to go straight to Max. So like, what's going to happen with that? How's it going to play into the DCEU, you know, larger? It really got the tone right in terms of seriousness as well as levity. So I think it's going to be dope. One thing that I'm interested, because you're saying you're interested in the grandma's like past history. I'm interested in the uncle, like because he's like the other thing they did, they made him funny. He's like, you know, comic relief, but also he's very smart. He figured out how to like jury rig things. He figured out how to build things and make things or whatever. So I'm very interested to see how that plays, and is that character going to be folded over into other DC properties or whatever? Because it's my homie George Lopez, man. That's my dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I knew Lopez and Angel Manuel Soto were going to do good with it. And you just shout out once again to the director, because he really knows how to like make you feel. And I think that is going to be a great asset to the DC universe moving forward. You know what I mean? Having him on Blue Beetle and folding him into these other movies. He was a little bit apprehensive about taking the movie or whatever, but he did an amazing job with it. And I want to see how he continues to grow with it as it continues to progress. So kudos all around. Solid film. Solid. It's just solid in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like taking over the world, didn't reinvent the wheel. There's definitely some cliches in there, but it definitely is just, it's just super solid. And it made me happy walking out that I went and saw it.
Definitely. Yeah. It made me want to go read some Blue Beetle comics, made me want to go check out some of the cartoon appearances again. Yeah, shout out to my man. We'll throw some more flowers at him. Angel Manuel Soto, Charm City Kings. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. Go see some of his other work. But Puerto Rico for life. From Puerto Rico. A lot of the film was shot in Puerto Rico. But yeah, he knows how to shoot. All of his camera work is amazing. Just everything, all the angles, the way he progresses the story. But I think the big proponent of him, and what I love about him and what he tried to do with all of his projects, is he tries to induce elements of relatability, family, culture, and a lot of that he tried to interject into this, and I really appreciate that. And just I'm curious. I'm hoping I can get an interview with my boy now that I've seen it to talk a little bit more, because I'm curious, like integrating that background with Cowpax, some of the different story elements and cultural elements, nuances. You know, you have to have somebody that is of the culture to put those nuances into a film like this. I'll say this: did that and shot. You know, go ahead.
When you get to talk to him, or if I get to talk to him, I'll
try to get us both, Glenn.
Yeah, try to get us both. But and I won't bring it up. All I need is just a little bit of Glenn. You know what? I'll give you your flowers. But the one thing I do want to ask him about and talk to him about, because it's such a big thing in Hispanic culture, is in the next Blue Beetle, is there going to be more of a focus on boxing? Because boxing is huge in like the Hispanic culture or whatever. And I think it would be really cool if you see Jaime like trying to figure out how to work with the Scarab and having to figure out how to fight and having to incorporate and getting some like boxing lessons, you know what I mean, to like figure out how he's going to maneuver and do things. You know what I mean? I thought it was cool because we get to see the Scarab take over or whatever, and that's kind of what's guiding things. But as you know from the comics and whatnot, he has to also be able to do things on his own and integrate with the Scarab. So I think that would be really cool to see if like his fighting style evolves over time to incorporate like elements of like boxing and kind of like, you know, the footwork, especially with that. So that would be really, really cool to see. I definitely want to ask him that. But yeah, man. Super
that would
solid.
be cool. I'd love to see that as well. It's a very commonplace thing, as well as, you know, in the Philippines, you know, Pacquiao and all that.
Yeah.
So you know, definitely in the islands, we love ourselves some boxing.
For sure.
Great elements. Yeah, we talk characters, we talk story. So overall review, you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, man. They did a good job. But as I was saying earlier, as I also came off, I started reading reviews, and one of the biggest things that and why I wanted to get you on, brother, again, is I started checking out some of the reviews. It's been lukewarm. It's not really hitting where they want it to be. And the common thread, I gotta say, it's gonna sound like a racial thing, but seems like a lot of white reviewers are out there putting their voice out about this. And I want to kind of shut that down a little bit and add, I guess, our voices to it, because I think they did a good job. I was apprehensive because of the DC history, but they did the damn thing, and I want to give it love and light, because I think in other circumstances, if we didn't have right now we're going through a pandemic and we're going through a SAG-AFTRA strike. The actors who worked super hard on this, Xolo, everybody, this whole cast, George Lopez, they didn't get to have a true premiere. Only like directors right now can like talk about the film. So shout out to Angel, he's getting his love right now. People are hearing it.
Yeah.
But the cast didn't get to get their love on it, and I fear that because they couldn't represent, like, Black people came out for Black Panther, like Asian people came out for Shang-Chi, I'm worried that Latinos aren't going to come out in droves for this because of just how some of the reviews are starting off right now. And so I wanted to add our voices to it that, you know what? I was ready for it to be terrible. They didn't let me see it in advance. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go pay that ticket because it's a Latin superhero. Glenn Lawrence is going to see it. I know we're going to need to talk about it. I love the character from the comics. although I might be throwing my money away, I'm gonna give it a try. I went and spent the money, and I'm happy I did. Blue Beetle was a dope film, and we're showing it love now to help give another positive review amidst the other reviews that are out there right now, man. So those are my final words to say about it, Glenn.
Wait, you're not gonna put just the one final word? Be like, you were right, man. I gotta get
you know it when you've earned it, Glenn.
I can't wait. Come on,
it doesn't. We were both at what you're not trying to say right now because you just want to say you knew it. You were apprehensive as well. So when
I would give you that.
In this case, if it was different, if it was more, if you didn't have the apprehension, and I was totally blown away
back.
Like
you have to go back and look at the video because I was pleading with you, and I would give you that if it wasn't for the fact that at the very end I was like, "Come on, you're not going to give it to me at the very end."
I will just say I'm happy for you, Glenn, and I'm happy for us nerds that Blue Beetle was good.
There, okay. You know what? I will take that. There's much love.
I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for all of us.
That's big. So I really appreciate that.
I love you, brother.
And I love the film. Love you, bro. And I'm like you said, I was hoping for the best, and I'm just happy that I got the best. I think this is some of the best that DC has done, and I'm very happy that this was the group that did it.
Damn right. And I hope now I'm excited to see what Gunn's going to do with it now. You know.
Yeah.
And Soto, they got to bring Soto back.
Yeah,
Gunn's in charge. Let Soto do his thing, but having them two work together, woo!
But
it's only going to be even more fire.
Like this is fertile ground. There's a lot of seeds planted here. There's a lot of ways that they can take it. They didn't ruin it to where it's like you don't even want to see the whatever they do with it. You don't even you do want to see okay, what's going to happen next? Because I think it's a great starting point. So
let me ask you to close this out then before we get up out of here. Then, no spoilers, but this is straight predictions, y'all. Where would you like to see Blue Beetle 2 go?
Like in terms of storyline?
Yeah. What do you want to see in part 2?
I'd like to see him finding his way.
Okay. Learn boxing.
And you know what I would really like to see? And I know it's kind of a stretch, and I know there's other things that should be happening before it, but I would really like to see Damian Wayne interact with Blue, like that. I would like to see that become a part of the story. Maybe not the biggest part of the story, but a part of the story. Because then we're getting Titans. You know what I mean? So I think that would be really cool. And I think that would I know DC wants to have their Justice League and all this other stuff, but I think if we get a Damian Wayne and Titans is coming, that's going to be an Avengers level event, and people are going to be very excited about how it's going to look. I don't know how it's going to work, but I mean, there is a multiverse. They already showed the multiverse with Beast Boy, so having a Titans film that isn't the same characters from the TV series will be great. And then you can also tie in the TV series, which is just going to bring more eyeballs of people who want to see it. People are going to start watching the TV series, and it's just you're just winning. So I think Damian Wayne is a character that we have not seen on the big screen really, and I don't think a lot of people really know about who aren't really into it heavy, and people be like, what, Batman has a son? What? I think that would be kind of fire, because we haven't seen it. We've seen every iteration of Batman, but we haven't seen this one. So I would love to see that.
Okay, I'm not going to single out on Damian Wayne, although I love that choice. I won't single out anybody, so I'll just say I want a slow build with what you're saying, leading up to more Titans characters. So any of the other characters, I'll take it. So yeah, whether it's Wayne or some other individual, I'll take it. Just I want a slow build. I want a slow progression. I want to see it, further establish. What I truly want is I want this ensemble back. You got to. I want character build out. I want more learning of himself and his powers. So whether it's learning boxing, but becoming more of a hero, I want to see that build up again. Just let's progress and just have the ensemble. If they do all that, give me that. Maybe throw in a Titan or two. I'll take that. Just make sure it's solid. And I think with Soto at the helm again, with Gunn leading the charge as our Feige-like character in DC, if we can get all that, it's gonna be straight fire, son. And I can't wait.
Yeah, me too, bro. I'm all on board. I'm super excited about it, and 100%. I would just say I'm very happy that you liked it. And from what I'm seeing, even the reviewers who are usually haters, they have been damn, that was actually pretty solid. So from what I'm seeing on the internets, I think people are happy with it. And I've just been putting it out there. I was like, yo, I've seen a lot on my timeline about Blue Beetle, and I think it's because it's so solid. Like I put that out there. Angel Manuel Soto, like he retweeted that or reposted it or whatever. So I think, I think people are noticing that the film is kind of is good, and it's being held back by like the writer's strike and no promotion and all this stuff, and it's still getting like a lot of love. I don't know, man. I think you got a winner. Just imagine if it was on every McDonald's, Burger King cup, or Wendy's or KFC like they normally do with all this stuff. Like you can't walk somewhere without an Avengers branded thing when the movie's coming out. They did not do that for.
Well, when I saw it at AMC today, I saw it today, y'all, as of this recording. At AMC, they had this Blue Beetle backpack hard case like shaped as the Scarab at AMC. That was a popcorn vessel. I bought one of those. I always get the cool
you do
memorabilia, and so I should have brought it. It's over in another room right now, but I picked that up, man. It's pretty sweet. So I'm looking forward to more kids becoming Blue Beetle fans and having those on their back. And I think it's great we have a great Latin superhero now.
I love it, man. I'm so happy. I'm so excited.
All right, Glenn Lawrence, if they want to talk all things Blue Beetle with us offline or in the comments below, how can people reach out to you, bro?
Check me out at levelupcomedy.com, Glenn Lawrence Comedy on Facebook and IG, Glenn Levels Up on the tweets.
There you go. That's my brother Glenn. And for me, it's the legend Kuya on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hive, and Blue Sky. And of course, here with Glenn and the whole squad at the NRW and at Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. Those are our thoughts on Blue Beetle in theaters now, y'all, as of this recording. Go check it out. Let us know how you feel in the comments below. Let us know what you want to see in part 2. All the things, whether Glenn really showed me up or I
didn't show you up
to the crowd or what.
Show you up.
If you had the same apprehension as I did, but I think we can just all rejoice as comic fans. We got a good DC film, and that's amazing, and a great beginning of a new Latin superhero, which I love. There you go, y'all. Glenn Lawrence, your boy Kuya P. What's going on? It's your boy Kuya P coming out of my screening of Blue Beetle, dropping my initial thoughts. Blue Beetle is now playing in theaters, and y'all gotta go see it. I know if y'all seen my Flash review and just some of my other feelings on some of the DC movies, it's been trash, straight up. DC hadn't been delivering, but with this Joker, they delivered. I really enjoyed this joint. Just came up out of the screening, and man, I can't wait to see it again. They really killed it. It's got heart. It's got just a lot of cool action sequences, culture representing family, just all the elements that I look for when I enjoy a good superhero joint. And Blue Beetle delivered. Can't wait to see it again. I'll be dropping a full review with my boy Glenn Lawrence. Stay tuned, man. Y'all, DC, thank you. Finally giving us something good with y'all superheroes. All right, we out.